No title for this thought. Today we are going to be talking about synchronicity. Synchronicity is a concept introduced by Carl Jung to describe events that coincide in time and appear meaningful, related, yet lack a discoverable causal connection. In other words, think of coincidence. Think of when you've been living life and something happens, or you hear something, or just something comes into your life, however it is, and you're just like, whoa, I was just talking about this. I was just thinking about this. I was actually asking for confirmation, and look, now the confirmation's here. So, coincidence. Another way that I think of synchronicity is related to what I read, which is it's when something happens that seems symbolically or literally related to something else in a way that feels beyond a coincidence. So, say for example, you're like, okay, if I walk out of here and I see a yellow Lamborghini, and you know that the chances of you seeing a yellow Lamborghini are just like slim, but you walk out and you say, if I see a yellow Lamborghini, it means that I gotta keep doing the work inside me. It means that I gotta keep talking to myself about these issues so I can get the solution, so I can get the answer. And you walk out, bam, yellow Lamborghini. You're like, no, that's just a coincidence. There's no way. That's random. That's just a random possibility that happened to occur. So that's sort of how I think of synchronicity. So it could be that you see the same number 3 times in one day, or that you are thinking of someone and then they call you at that very moment, or even though you haven't spoken to them in months and you start to think about them, they send you a text or they give you a call. Basically, it's anytime something happened that seems meaningful, related. So another way to talk about this is some people think that it's just your unconscious telling you, hey, you're doing the work. I'm here. I can listen to you. Hear me. So people believe it's as a sign of encouragement to keep doing your inner work as well. So again, it's like you're diving into it. And again, this is something that from your own personal experience, you'll be able to confirm. I'll be able to click. Again, all these things, just like with anyone else that throws things at you, boys, all these things only make sense until they click with you guys based on your guys' lived experiences. For now, take everything that you hear from me, from whoever. Take it as theories, right? That's something that we talk about. I tell you, boys, when you hear something, take it as what it is, right? It's like a theory. It's something that's from paper until eventually it speaks to you, until eventually you act on it. And then you're like, okay, now I understand this theory. Now I understand why this person is saying that. So, same thing with this. A sign that you are on the right path with whatever it is that you are doing in life. And so, to just help you understand synchronicity, help you understand that in a sense everything is connected in life. At least for me, that's also something that I believe. That's also how I go about navigating the world. Nothing is just by chance. Nothing is just like, oh, luck. Everything is connected. And whether you instantly see how it is connected, or whether it takes maybe a couple weeks, a month, a couple years, and then you're like, oh, now I know why that happened, and now this is happening. Connected. So I want to share an example of this, a real example that happened to me, and how I'm just like, whoa, like, okay, that was my confirmation to be able to speak on synchronicity, to be able to make the video and put it on to the channel. Because again, like I tell you, boys, read for yourselves, do everything for yourselves. Don't just take everything like that people throw at you and be like, oh yeah, that's true. And also, just when you speak on something, whether it's your own thought, that's cool. But when you're learning about something, make sure that when you do speak on it, you are sure of what it is that you're speaking. And I'm not saying this to discourage you and tell you, no, you gotta wait until you fully know it to speak on it, but just kind of be considerate of that, especially because you never know how your words might be taken. You never know if like you are doing something that might affect another person in a negative way. We always want our thoughts, our actions to affect people in a positive way. Taking it to the example that happened to me. I am in the process, I was in the process, you guys are aware, $35 for a bottle. That's crazy. Anyway, you guys know that I was in the process of getting a daily, right? Getting a commuter because of my situation. So I needed a commuter. In regards to the process, there were other things, other factors that were kind of like not allowing me to go to a dealership and say like, okay, that's a commuter I want. I'm gonna get that, have it. For a while there, I was like, how do I go about this? What do I do? And I think it was maybe after my second attempt, so it was gonna be on my third attempt. On my second attempt of trying to get a commuter, that it just didn't work out again. And so I got a little bit frustrated. And what I tell you boys, when we feel frustration, when we feel something, right? Release it. Because with energy, because with these things, we don't destroy them. It just gets sent one way or another. Hold up, I think my sister's home. Kim! Okay, hold up, I'm making a video. I'm here though. Yeah, I'm making one for a longer video. Yeah, I mean, this is going, you can use mine. This is like a stream, bro. Like all of this is gonna be on the video because I can't edit it. Raw again, another video showing you boys rawness. Synchronicity, my example with the car. So after the second attempt, frustrated, I pull out my notes app and I think let me actually pull it up so you guys can see that what I talk about is just, come on, brothers. You guys just have to buy in for yourself. I got the car. Let's see. I just want you guys to know how sure I am that the true creator, the one source, and also just to tell you boys, show you boys how you just romanticize your life. Just live it as what it is for you. So prior to going back again to my third time trying to get my commuter, I simply wrote this. So it was like I was gonna go on a weekend. I remember this, and it's so I was gonna go on a Saturday, and so I was just reflecting on why I couldn't get the car in a sense. I was like, come on, like, well, why are there so many obstacles? And some of them were obvious to me, like, okay, like I already have another car under my name and like stuff like that. But I was just like, come on, like it's my life. I want to live it like that. If in my life I want to dictate that it's time to get a commuter, like, and I'm doing the work, inner work, and on top of that I'm taking care of the outer world things, why not? So on the 24th, which was on a Tuesday, so I wrote this on a Tuesday, knowing that I was gonna go in Saturday to my third attempt of getting the commuter. So this is what I wrote. Can you see it, right? So I wrote this. So this is usually how I write my thoughts. I start with like the first bold one and then I expand on it. So do this weekend to get the model of car. No down payment, approved on the spot, less than X amount on payments. And then underneath that, I wrote God. So that's what I wrote prior to getting it, prior to even making it happen. Do this weekend to get the model of car, no down payment, approved on the spot, less than X amount on payments. God. So I go on Saturday. I went just to one place. I see the car, looking at it. Boys, everything besides the model. So everything occurred the way it was going to happen. No down payment, approved on the spot, and the payments were less than what I wrote that I wanted the payments to be. However, where I was like, okay, was that I wanted this model of car, because it was going to be my commuter, right? But then when I got there, I saw another model of a car, and I'm like, this can also be a cool little commuter. So then I changed. What I had written was the first model that I was going for. But then I changed my mind to the other model. But same thing though, approved everything. However, the issue was that on that day, the model that I chose was not, they didn't have it there. They're like, oh, like we can get you approved all this, but then you're gonna have to come back later this week for it. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And so I'm like, part of me was like, why is it that what I wrote down didn't fully happen to its full extent? A little bit of ignorance on my end, right? Because what I wrote, I'm like, the model, life, God, whatever it is that you want to call it, gave me that model. It's like, it was there. But then me changing what I wrote, the person was like, yeah, we don't have that car until like later this week, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, I'll go get it. On that same day, on that same day, I'm driving back home, chilling, because I'm like, I'm going to get my commuter. And we stopped at, so where we live, boys, I think most of you guys know where we live, or the place that I'm going to talk about. It's, there's like a spring of water. So I'm driving home, and then I'm like, let me get some water. So I was going back home, and I did there's like this exit where you can make a full U-turn. So I turn it around. So think of, and I want every little detail makes sense. I'm going back home, and even then, so I wasn't enjoying how that was coming out. Going back home from understanding that the commuter's there, everything's cool, but a little bit of me was still with the whole because of what I had written in the notes. But then I was like, why not? And so how things are connected. I was a little bit still with myself of like, I just need like one more confirmation. I need to know that it's gonna be chill, it's gonna be cool for this commuter, for this other model of commuter to be the one I'm gonna get. So I'm going home. I make a U-turn. So U-turn going back. So forward, going backwards. I turn, and then I pull into the spring. I wish I was making this up, because then it would make me feel a little bit less of like, holy shit, like this is real, like the way you go about living life, the way you go about romanticizing how you want to live and all that is there. It can happen. And I want this for you boys as well. And you guys will get there. There was a car already there, filling up water, right? So getting some water. I get off, and I'm just there. The person in front of me was finished. They were done. So then I got my water, my bottle, started putting it there, filling it up. The dude starts talking to me. He was done. He could have left. He could have gone. He starts talking to me. You guys want to know his name? He introduces himself. I introduce myself. All these things. He goes like, yeah, like in Spanish. He's like, yeah, my name's Jesus. obviously, but Christ, Jesus Christ, whatever it is, but he's like, my name's Jesus. The craziest part, I turn around like to like where he's at, like leaning towards his car because I hadn't really seen the car. Bro, the model that I changed my mind to, the model that I chose, that I'm like, I'm gonna go back later this week for this vehicle, that was his fucking car. Here I am talking to a Jesus who is talking to me about cars. We start talking about cars, and I'm not big on cars and all that, so I was just kind of like listening. And he's telling me, yeah, like, oh, I'm like, fuck. He's like, yeah, this is the car that I've been wanting for a while. I'm like, holy fuck. Holy shit, okay. Father, thank you for confirming. I'm like, what the fuck? And then on top of that, just to add a little bit more, some humor, he tells me, because I'm also like, well, now it's up in the air, right? But during those weeks, I was in the process of kind of like looking for places in a certain area, because I'm like, well, maybe, I can also move out and all that. The area where I was looking in, this guy tells me, he's like, I live here, but then I also have rentals in that area. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, what the fuck? So I took it as that, synchronicity. There is no way that it's just coincidence. There is no way that it's just chance that I was over here trying to get confirmation on a vehicle. I didn't even have to stop at the spring, right? I could have just kept driving, going home, and just waiting to get water over there. All that. Decided to just make the U-turn there. The guy could have easily gone in his car and left. The guy could have easily just not talked to me at all. Synchronicity. It is, think of it however it is that you want to define it, but think of it as your higher self sending you clues, sending you little hints, sending you little pieces of information that confirm whatever it is that you're already thinking, whatever it is that you already kind of want to do or act on. Nothing is by chance. Everything is connected. Everything happens for a reason. That is the first example that I wanted to bring onto this about synchronicity. I want to dive more into it, into what synchronicity is, how to go about romanticizing your life in that sense. But for the time of this video, we'll end this thought there on synchronicity and how you just romanticize your life, boys. Go about living life and asking. Speak it out loud, imagine it, whatever it is. Clues, confirmations, ways that you want life, God, your belief system to communicate to you. And when it does happen, when you get those confirmations, or when synchronicity comes into your life, when something like that happens, want more, accept it, don't overthink it, don't fall into like, oh, like that was just luck. Because then in a sense, when you do that, it's like you're shying away, or you're like kind of pushing it away in a sense, like, oh no, like don't speak to me, higher self, right? But if you embrace it, guess what? Even more things happen, even more of these type of coincidence start coming into your life. And then eventually you just go about living life in a very calm manner, because you're like, I know I'm going to get the answer. I know something's going to confirm it for me. Does that make sense, boys? Do the work. You have to try and do the work, though. In order to get a better grasp, better understanding of this, try and do the work inside first. This translates to the outside.